Hello. Welcome to the Ielts speaking test. My name is Lanre. I'll be your examiner for today. Please introduce yourself. Full name, please.
Kemisola.
Could you speak a little bit louder?
Kemisola.
Okay, so what should I call you?
Kemisola.
Kemisola it is then. Do you work or study, Kemi?
I work.
Okay, do you enjoy your job?
To an extent, yes.
Tell me 2 things you enjoy about your job.
I enjoy the fact that I don't stay at home, I have somewhere to go, and I have something to do. And I also enjoy the fact that when I go to work, I do something I enjoy to do.
I see. So let's get into the test proper. Can you describe to me the room where you sleep?
I stay in a 2-bedroom apartment, which I own one of the bedrooms. It's painted in white, and I have a 6x6 bed, which I love to sleep alone. So I would say it's very comfortable and cozy for me.
Nice. How much sleep do you need every night?
For me, I don't really think I catch much sleep, but on an average, I think I have like 5 hours sleep every night.
5 hours, and it's enough?
It keeps me going. So I'm okay.
Now, do you like to sleep during the day? Why or why not?
I enjoy sleeping though, but like I said, I'm working, so I don't get to sleep during the day because I'm at work and I can't sleep at work.
If you had the opportunity to sleep during the day, would you take that opportunity?
It depends. If I have something doing, I think I would rather get done what I want to do than sleep.
Are you a fashionable person?
I'll say yes.
Go on.
In the sense that if I'm gonna leave my house and I have to dress up for the occasion, I think I always want to look good. I want to be in a place whereby, people see me like, oh, like when you're wearing all the accessories you're wearing.
So what clothing fashions are popular in your country?
In my country, for me, I feel most people in my country tend to use international designs because probably because they have experiences with local business, local fashions, and probably it doesn't last them long, so the few international brands does the trick.
See, do you think that the fashion industry involves too much money for what it is?
I'm a believer for if you want something good, you go for it. And if I feel I want something good and it's expensive, I feel it's worth it. So far, I can use it and I'm comfortable with it. I don't have an issue with it.
See. Now, can people be fashionable without spending too much money?
Oh yes, people can definitely be fashionable without spending too much money. I feel it has to do with the mental state when fashion comes into play. So it's not really about the brand. It's not really about the name. It has to do with how you put them together and how you carry yourself, most importantly.
I like that, how you carry yourself. Let's talk about mobile phones.
Okay.
Now, when did you get your first mobile phone?
There's that year, I can't really remember, but I know when I was in secondary school, I was using a phone. Let's say, I think, give and take, I'll say 2005.
That seems like quite some time, right?
Yeah, it is.
Now, do you feel that they are too common in today's society?
In this society, I feel we're evolving. So for me, I would say it is important to have a mobile phone. You access information. You can literally do everything about your life on your phone, and you can literally store any information in it. So I think it is important.
Now, where would be a good place to ban the use of mobile phones?
Say that again?
Now, where would be a good place, or where would be good places to ban the use of mobile phone?
First off, I don't think there's a use for people banning the mobile phone. But if there's a need to do that, I feel maybe probably there's a particular thing going on or an event going on, and you don't want people to have access to the mobile phone. Yeah, you can literally put it out, and if people are still interested, they'll still come for it. But generally, I don't think it is a good idea.
How can we stop young people from using their mobile phones so much?
Like I said, I don't really see a need to plan it. So planning and stopping is almost the same thing. So if we're supposed to stop people from having access to mobile phone, what makes it so sure that if they go out there, they won't get it, or they won't use it? So why plan it at home, or why stop them from using it at home, whereas they can actually get hold of it outside?
I see. It's your opinion. And I like that. I respect that. So let's move on to the part 2 of the speaking test, which is called the long turn. Here, I'll give you a cue card, and you'll have 1 minute to brainstorm or think about what you're going to say. And you'll also be mandated to respond to me in between 1 minute to 2 minutes. Okay. So I'll pass you your cue card. I'm sure you have a pen already.
Yes, I do.
Good. So I'll pass you your cue card and a piece of paper for you to jot your thoughts. You have 1 minute for this period. Okay, please start. So while you're doing that, I'll take the liberty of reading out the question. Describe an advertisement that is particularly memorable for you. You should say what this advertisement is for, when you saw it, what is in the advertisement, and explain why this advertisement is so memorable for you. Please, you're still within your time. Shall we? Great. So I'll read out the question one more time. I'll have the question from you. Are you good with your jottings? So I'll read out the question one more time and then we'll begin. I'd like to set up my timer also too, please. Great. Describe an advertisement that is particularly memorable for you. You should say what this advertisement is for, when you saw this advertisement, what is in the advertisement, and explain why this advertisement is so memorable for you. Please begin when you're ready.
Okay, I was asked to talk about a memorable advertisement. So I will talk about a particular candy, or sweet as we usually call it in Nigeria. It's blue. We call it Baba Blue. It's for cold and catarrh, and also it helps with sore throats and helps keep your mouth fresh. I saw this advertisement, I think in the early 2000s. I'm sure when I was in secondary school, that's when I saw the advertisement. And in the advertisement, it's a courtroom. We have a lawyer, which was having cold and catarrh, and he couldn't speak because of his sore throat. And we have the judge also asking questions from the lawyer, and a client that was supposed to be acquainted. And also we have a man who owns the product that's trying to advertise his product in the courtroom. So while this was going on, while the judge was asking the lawyer questions about his client, he couldn't speak because he was having sore throat and was in catarrh, so he couldn't speak. So the man advertising his product, I will name him Baba Blue, raised up to advertise his product to him, and it could help him speak to win his case. And while this product, this advertisement, its a significance to me, the message was passed across in a very funny way, and at the same time, the message was passed across clearly. Like, people know what it's for, people know what it's meant to do, and people know why they should buy it. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your response. So let's move on and talk more about advertisements. Now, part 3 for the test. Right. So let's talk about the advertising industry. Just basic general questions about them. Do you feel that you are affected by advertising?
Oh yeah, I feel everybody is in one way or the other, because in as much as people feel like they don't need something or they don't want to buy something in a particular period, if they see an advertisement and they feel it's not a bad thing, if they own it, they won't go for it, even if they don't have a need for it at that moment.
True. What makes an advertisement memorable?
I would say an advertisement should be clear, short, and it should be able to pass the message across timely.
Nice. Should advertising be allowed to target children?
I don't see a problem with that, because I feel if advertisement is targeted for children, if the children say something and they want it, they go back to their parents, and in one way or the other, the parents are bound to get it for them.
See, now, how do you think the advertising industry has changed during your lifetime?
For me, I would say, let's say, when we were much younger, it's mostly mouth-to-mouth advertisement. It's mostly cardboard, or people reading too, but it's not as common as it is now. And now everything now is social media, and we're involved with internet is everything. So it's easier for people to see an advertisement.
Nice. How do you feel about tobacco products being advertised in the media?
Tobacco product, is that a cigar?
Yes.
For me, I don't see an issue with it, maybe because I'm an adult though.
Okay.
But I feel if people are talking about it negatively, that's for children in a way. I feel parents should be able to censor what the children watches, in as much as it's not every time they are home. But I feel if a parent instills something in children, they will go through with it.
Okay. Now, what do you think about the claim that advertising just persuades people to change brands rather than persuading them actually to take up smoking? I can take that question again for you.
Yes, please.
What do you think about the claim that tobacco advertising just persuades people to change brands rather than persuading them to actually take up or leave smoking?
Okay, for that question, I won't be able to answer explicitly because I really don't know much about tobacco. Before I can answer that, I'll have to go back to my research. But that doesn't stop me from saying what I feel. I don't feel it's about them quit smoking. I feel, to an extent, like I said, I've done my research. I feel that it's more healthy than the normal cigarette people smoke.
See, should tobacco advertisers and tobacco companies be at least partially responsible for financing the treatment of smoking-related diseases?
It's that question. I think to me, it's in two ways. For them to take responsibility, I think if a law is passed against that, I feel it's not a big deal. But everybody is actually out there to do business and to make profit. And if they do business, they're not actually forcing anybody, mandating everybody or anybody to actually patronize them. So I feel people have choice to make. If they want it, they go for it. If they don't want it, they stay clear.
You seem to have a very strong convictions about the things that you like and you do not like. Thank you very much, Madam Kemisola, for that quite interesting and enlightening chat. I enjoyed it. I got some new insights into things that I thought I knew. It's good to always share from your perspective. How was the experience for you, generally?
It's not bad. It's speaking, like I said, communication. So.
Communication. Can I have this?
Yes.
The handwriting is so nice and it's so tiny. Wow. Okay, so let's review this test.
Okay.
I'll be very honest with you. And at the same time also too, I'll also point out the places where I feel that you did quite well. For one, I would say that you're a good communicator. You definitely will rank above average as a communicator, which isn't quite surprising because Nigerians are basically good communicators, especially when it comes to speaking. We've been using English since when we were born. Right, so there are 4 areas of the IELTS. There are 4 criteria that they use to assess your speaking test. I'll just give a general review of that. Might not be the exact descriptions. We have fluency, we have lexical resource, which is your vocabulary, we have pronunciation, and then we have grammar. Okay? Now, fluency also covers coherence, cohesion, and all of that. Now, fluency refers to your ability to maintain connected speech for a long stretch of time. We can all agree that you were quite fluent. Okay, you were quite fluent, and that works really well for me. For lexical resource, I like that you displayed a wide range of vocabulary to express yourself, basically having the right words to say exactly what you mean to say. Could you have improved your use of ambitious vocabulary? When I say ambitious vocabulary, you tried to step up the vocabulary. Yes, you could. There's room for improvement. Doesn't mean that what you did wasn't good. Pronunciation definitely wasn't a challenge. Obviously, In fact, I'm actually jealous of your pronunciation. I think it's way better than mine. And then for the grammar, which is the last part, grammar also not bad. So I'll just point out the areas where I saw some challenges, like specific places, because I cannot get everything. Okay, so for fluency, so I wrote above average. I really like that. For your part 2, that's the long-term question. I really like your fluency there. I like the fact that you started your presentation, your speech, your answer with a hook. So by saying, so now I'm going to be talking about this. So it sort of led into the question. That was quite good. And confidence is one thing that really works well for you. Is that fake or is that real? Are you shaking inside and you're just maintaining a very cool front?
This is me.
This is you. Nice. Cool as ice. Good. So, but for the part 2, use of time to cover prompts wasn't too bad, but could have been done better. So what do I mean? So for your speaking part 2, your prompt said, the prompts there were what the advertisement is for, when you saw it, what is in the advertisement, and explain why this advertisement is so memorable. These are the main prompts in the question. Remember, the time allotted for this particular task is between 1 minute to 2 minutes, which means that I could have stopped you at a minute on the dot. If I had stopped at a minute on the dot, you wouldn't have fully answered the question. So that's what I meant by your use of time in covering those prompts could have been better. I think there was a part where you got so immersed in the Baba Blue story that you didn't get to the other prompts, but it wasn't so bad. At the end of the day, I think you did 1 minute 39 seconds, which wasn't so bad actually, because your response time is supposed to be within 1 minute to 2 minutes. Yeah, so we have it here, 1 minute 39 seconds. I remember that up to 1 minute 20 seconds, you hadn't answered the reason why the advertisement was so memorable, which is quite, how do I say, risky. If I had stopped you earlier than that, it would have meant that such a beautiful answer wouldn't have covered everything. So I think I saw that. For your lexical resource, I like the fact, so I mentioned that you could have used ambitious vocabulary. I don't, so in this part of the world, I've looked for an English word for it. So I will usually refer to it as gen English. You know, when you speak things like indecipherable, you know, all those long syllables, they are not the focus when communicating. Yeah. But they are not so bad because it just makes you sound a little bit more academic and makes your language a little bit more elevated. I felt that you stuck to the lower end of the vocabulary pool. I think you could do better. I think I know that you could do better, but you're trying to play it safe. Safe is good. At least you're not going to have any problems with safe, but you're not definitely going to get a band 9 with safe. Am I making sense here? Yes. Good. So I like when you were using things like cozy. And when I give scores for vocabulary, I like to give scores when someone has more than one word to say what they want to say. So you went, oh, I like my bed, my bedroom is comfortable, it's cozy. So you gave like 3 words to describe that particular feeling. Shows that your range of vocabulary was sufficient to express yourself. I like collocations. Collocations are words that must go together. Expressions that you naturally use together. Things like carry yourself. The way you carry yourself, things like put it together, you know, those are really good. They sort of just let us know that English is not forced and you can express yourself with simple things. Timely, I like an explanation of timely. Then when we're talking about, you know, what advertisements should be, for the timeline questions. So a timeline question is a question that has a time element in it. When I asked you, how has advertising changed in your lifetime? See, for those questions, one of the key challenges that people have there is the words that they use to express tenses. Because you're going to talk about time, if you're going to tell me about advertising your lifetime. So here is an error that I saw there. So for timeline questions, you said, when we were younger, advertisement, it is, so you said, when we were younger, so it was, definitely. So that just to maintain that integrity of tense. For pronunciation, like I told you, pronunciation was quite good, but I think that your pacing means your speed. Yes. The rate at which you talk affected pronunciation in some ways. So there were some words that you didn't sound right, didn't come out the way you had said it because you were rushing through it. And there were some that really came out well, but because you were so fast, you covered it up. So that thing could work both ways, but it wasn't so bad. So definitely that's way above average. For grammar, yep. Speaking fast threw up challenges, and you also speaking fast threw up errors, and you also covered errors. So that was something that I especially noted maybe like in 2 places for number, that's singular and plural. We're speaking fast. I wasn't able to identify if you were talking about the plural or the singular, but basically it was quite good. For grammar, I was talking to a lawyer, who, right? A lawyer is a person who be who, not which, exactly. So, like I said, it was a quite deep review, but I definitely feel that this is a very good performance. I like the fact that you were very calm and you were very cool, and that you were able to give out your thoughts. I actually like the fact that when we got to a question where you didn't know anything, you were able to express your ignorance. Remember, this is a test of communication. It's not a test of intelligence. You don't have to know everything. You just have to be able to express what you know about that thing. So, what was your score in the test itself for the speaking?
6.5.
6.5, wow. So, what do you think accounted for that?
I don't know, but what I do know is I cried during my test.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, it was a very emotional question.
Wait, let's keep that. This is definitely going to come out in our next interview when we do this. So, off the top of my head, you're within a band 7.5 and a band 8. So within that range.
Oh, really? I did that good?
Yeah, it was quite good.
Thank you.
It was in a 7.5 and a band 8. So where should you land? So we'll ask the audience. So we could ask the director. Director, 7.5 to band 8. Where does she land? Okay, 7.5 it is. And thank you very much. Now, the reason why the director came in here is because the director was a part of this whole process. He was listening to us. He could hear everything. So, and he obviously heard all the review that I'd given also too. So definitely.
It's between me.
Okay. So director definitely is not going to get a job at British Council working for the Ielts people, because it's definitely a subjective person. Thank you so much, Kemi, for coming for this test. We had a really nice time.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.